Let's bring in Wisconsin Congressman Mike Gallagher, a retired Marine and member of the House Armed Services Committee. Congressman, always great to see you. You see John Kirby get choked up there a little. Vladimir Putin consistently is talking about using nuclear weapons, and the President of the United States, Joe Biden, has repeatedly said we are not getting into World War III. But it's interesting because the British Secretary of Defense came out and said, listen, we're not afraid of Vladimir Putin. He can talk and bluster all he wants. We're not afraid of him. We don't care what he says. We're going to do what we have to do. Which is the right approach, in your estimation?
Well, the latter is the right approach, though we should always be cognizant of nuclear escalation, and we shouldn't go around needlessly provoking anyone. We shouldn't allow the fear of escalation or the fear of provocation or the fear of what Putin might do to dictate our actions. And indeed, it's that fear itself, such as it makes us hesitate, that is provocative and that Putin feeds upon. And just look at the year leading up to the invasion itself, where the administration delayed lethal assistance on no less than 2 occasions for fear of provoking Vladimir Putin. And of course, he took that, he ran with it, and he invaded Ukraine. So again, it's always good to be prudent in matters of geopolitics, but we should not fear Putin. We should stand strong with our allies and take courage from the bravery that the Ukrainians are showing every day on the ground.
Yeah, and on that note, the Wall Street Journal editorial board says, quoting here, the stakes in Ukraine are enormous for U.S. security. The war is in a crucial phase as Russia tries to expand its control in Ukraine's east and crush the Ukrainian army. Defeating Mr. Putin's war of conquest is still possible, and the West can make the world safer by showing that an alliance of democracies can defeat a marauding dictator. Would you vote to give Ukraine what it needs to win this war, or keep giving Ukraine what it needs to sustain their side in this war?
Well, I think we should operate with the idea that Ukraine can win. Now, it's highly unlikely that they'll kick Russian troops out of Crimea, which they've occupied since 2014, but I could see them continuing to have a devastating effect on Russian troops in the south and east of the country and push back Putin's renewed offensive, particularly if Putin wants to expand the battlefield in the south to Odessa. So I think we should give the Ukrainians what they need to continue to impose devastating costs on the Russian army. They've not only demonstrated bravery, they've demonstrated enormous creativity. And one thing that's working quite well right now is the rapid way in which we are sharing intelligence with the Ukrainians, and then they're acting on that intelligence to attack Russian ships, attack Russian tanks, attack Russian troop personnel, carriers, and things like that. That's something we should absolutely continue going forward.
As you look at the map of what's happening right now in Ukraine, if there is any kind of peace deal to be had in the weeks and months ahead, do you foresee that Russia would give back Mariupol, would give back that land bridge to Crimea that they are efforting? Is that something you think is negotiable for Vladimir Putin, or will the map in Ukraine look different a year from now than it does today?
You know, I think, Trace, we're very far away from peace talks. I hate to say it, because the longer this goes on, the more people die, the more destruction there is in Ukraine. But I don't think Putin is going to give up on his stated desire now to establish that land bridge with Russia. And so I think we have a lot more fighting. And so our task is, one, let's not impose a preemptive peace term or set of agreement onto the Ukrainians. That's their choice to make. But two, as we talked about before, let's put them in the best possible position in order to win on the battlefield, and then translate that battlefield success into diplomatic success. I would add a final thing, which is that we just went through 7 years worth of javelins in Ukraine. We're going to have to replenish our own stockpiles, which are going to be increasingly important in other regions of the world, most notably in Taiwan, to make sure China doesn't invade.
Yeah, I got to go. I got 5 seconds. If Putin, who says he's going to go to the G20, if he goes, does the U.S. boycott? Should other countries boycott?
In unison with our allies. We shouldn't let him be a member of the G20. He's demonstrated he's not fit for it.
Congressman, great to have you on. Thank you.